Hello, my dear students. My name is Avigyan Tiwari, working as assistant professor at Sage University, Bhopal. So today we are going to see thread. So let's see how we are going to create thread. So there are two ways through which we can create the thread. First of all, we can extend the thread class, that is the main class, thread class. And second way that we are going to implement a runnable interface. So this is the first way. So here I have made a class which is named myThread. The myThread class is going to extend thread class. Okay, and here we have a method that is run method. I will let you know why I have written this run method. Fine. So this is a class named myThread extends thread class, and we are going to make this class as a thread. And we have a method run method. Okay, this run method comes from this thread class, and we are overriding here this run method. Okay, fine. Now again, we have a class main thread class. This is our main class in which we are going to call the thread. So main class is always treated as a thread also. Remember this one. Fine. So main class is the main method is also a thread. This class contains main method, and main method is also a thread. Fine. So we have made on an object of myThread class. That is myThread here, and we have made a object of this class here. That is myThread t1 equal to myThread. And now we have called this t1.start. Now see, start method is nowhere. Start method is nowhere. And what we are doing, t1.start means we are calling a method of t1 class. That is t1 object. T1 object is of myThread class. This object is of myThread class, t1.start. So here we don't have any kind of a start method. So this start method is of thread class because we are extending thread. So it means start is coming from where? Thread class. The start method is belongs to start. This belongs to thread class. Now thread class is having a method run method. So what is happening here? Start method we are calling is of thread class, and thread class uh, start method is calling run method. This run method, and what we are doing here, we are overriding this run method here. So this run method will going to be invoked. Start method directly calls run method implicitly. Fine. So this run method will going to be executed. After this execution, this main thread is also having a logic, that is for loop is written here itself. So we have two for loop. One for loop is for this thread, and one for loop is this main thread. The main method is also treated as a thread. Fine. So this is also a thread. So we have two for loops. So first of all, we have called this t1.start, and this start method belongs to this thread class, and that is start methods calling this run method implicitly automatically. So we have overridden this one. So this run method will be get invoked. Fine. So let's see the output. So we have Java C. The name of class is myThread. Thread.java. Compile. Fine. And the main class is main thread. So compile. Fine. So let me compile again. Now here you can see that first of all, this, see the output. First of all, this main method is executed, and then after this one is executed. Fine. Now again. Okay, let me run again. Now see, the output differs here. So you can see, you can say that this thread is working as a mental patient. So we can't able to predict the output of this thread. So which main thread is going to be executed first, and or this user-defined thread is going to be executed first. So it is very hard to predict this one. So for this, we have mechanism of thread.sleep method is there. We have what you can say, we have wait method, notify method, resume method, suspend method. So by using this method or facility, what we can do, we can predict the output here also. Otherwise, it is very hard to predict the output. So we can get different kind of output in different OS. Okay, fine. Thank you. Hope you have understood this one.